Welcome to episode 3 of the Rising Tides podcast. I'm Sean McGrath, CEO of Ace Power and Ace Fiber. And our special guest today is Skylar Crayton, the new park director at the Corinth Alcorn Parks and Recreation Department. And as always, we've got our host, Ben Tucker, Director of Marketing Communications and Member Services here at Ace.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for the introduction there. Officially episode 2 for me personally, and the fact that I made it onto a second episode, I appreciate Sean for that trust in my abilities. So, but yeah, like Sean mentioned, we have a very special guest with today, Skylar Crayton, who oversees our park here in town. Our new director as of December 1st.
That's it.
And can't be more excited to have him here with us. So we're just going to jump right into. Skylar, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be in the director's role.
Well, so I got hired on at the park in February 2021 as the athletic director. I'm a education sports background kind of guy. I've coached high school football, coached junior high basketball. So sports has always been a big part of my life. Long family lineage of basketball. So I am originally across the state line, but Corinth is now home, and I look forward to working at the park as I have been, but just being a part of the community as well too. So, good opportunity for me. I will have to oversee Robin Baker, our previous director, who has done a tremendous job with the park. But I look forward to it, and hopefully we can continue the strides that we've made thus far and continue to go forward.
Yeah, well, I know Sean and all of us speak and echo each other on this. Like, we can't be more excited to have you in that role. Like I said, and I also echo Robin, who did a tremendous job. All of us who worked alongside her, and over the years, we see the continued growth that has happened due to some of her efforts there, and she's always developed a good team around her, and it's a testament to you being able to jump into that director's role, and we're all excited to see what you're going to do with it.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and that's somebody who's texted Skylar numerous times about personal kids teams and sponsorships and stuff. I mean, you never once have you never jumped on the phone and talked to me about the park and stuff. And it's a real gem in our community.
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely. I've had a back seat for a little bit of it. I've been fortunate to serve on the park board for several years now, and was on the board when we hired Skylar, and we were very fortunate to get someone with his talents and abilities to come on board and like you said, take what Robin's done over the last several years and hopefully build off that, and we feel very confident in what he's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Skylar, so you gave us a little bit of your background there. So talk to us, like, why sports and recreation in your life and in your career? I know you talked about your mom, your sister, and just being a very athletic family.
Right.
So why for your career? Like, what drives you for the directorship here?
So starting out my professional career, I started out in education. Like I stated before, physical education was my major. So sports is kind of a big part of me. However, I enjoy people. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoy, just community involvement as a whole. So, I try to make a face of I meet no stranger. So I like talking to people. I like meeting new people. So just the community aspect as a whole, I feel like it fits my personality. Me talking with my wife, I feel like, I can talk to the man sitting on the side of the road, but I can also talk to the President of the United States. So I feel like communication is a big part of my, my talents. But I just enjoy what I do. I enjoy seeing the 3-year-old, it's their first time hitting the ball off the bat. I enjoy, the 10-year-old that's just getting into kid pitch and striking out their first batter. The 50 and over league, I enjoy seeing 75-year-old men that can still come out there and stroke a softball. And I mean, that's what makes me happy. And, whenever you're able to go to work and enjoy what you do, it's not work anymore. You just enjoy being, I guess, in a natural habitat kind of sense. So being that, I know the park is a lot more than just sports. We have a walking trail, we have a dog park. We have a lot of different things for people in our community to enjoy. Are we missing a few things? Yeah, we are. But, the things that we do have, I feel like we are a large benefit to our community, and we want to continue to grow on that as well too. Pickleball, that's a totally different subject.
Oh, we're gonna get into pickleball.
Hey, Sean, that's a whole segment right
promise
here.
you, we're not
Okay.
talking
All
about
right. But I mean, but still, if you don't know what pickleball is, it is something definitely to YouTube, or just simply come by the park. I mean, you can come by the park just about any day out of the week. You know, sometimes 9 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes even 9 p.m. at night. And we usually have a large group of people playing. So that's one of the fastest growing things, I believe, as of right now, that we have going in the park.
I really thought it was, as passionate as he is about pickleball, I thought it was going to be part of my job interview for this time.
Oh, yeah.
I really did. Like, I had to beat him
that was
to join him.
that was a question. Can you pickle?
Yeah.
I'm here, but I haven't shown my skills to him yet. So,
Oh, yeah.
So they're probably pretty lacking.
Yeah.
Skylar, one of the things that the feedback we hear in the community about the work you do is just how approachable you are,
Right.
and I mean, I know how it is to coach, youth athletics, and things don't always go great, and you don't always agree with the umpire's decision on things, and I've just heard several times that how people have come to you with issues, and just how approachable you've been, and addressing those issues, and I mean, I think it's a perfect fit.
I think sometimes I'm not an impulsive guy. Yeah. So, if somebody comes, I'm not just going to dive right into it. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to think about it. I may tell you, hey, I'll follow with you tomorrow. Just that way I get all angles of the story. Because I don't want to downplay one guy and it was somebody totally different in that instance. So I try to always respect people when they come to me, and just hopefully and pray that they respect me in the same manner. So
Well,
that's all we can do.
I can echo that too. Like I said, as a longtime sponsor of park functions, and now a parent of kids who participate in park functions. I mean, it's A+ first class. You and the entire team. Not just saying that because you're on a podcast here. We're very fortunate to have the team and the park we have here.
Absolutely.
And I think one thing I've always been amazed by, and is just you guys' ability to multitask. I mean, with so many sports going on, when I text you or when I talk to you in the community somewhere, it's like I'm the only one that matters in that moment. But I know you have a million things going on. So, like, how do you balance all those sports and growth initiatives?
Man, it can be tough. I mean, just right now, for example, we have 4 different sports going on at the park. So, I mean, between youth baseball, softball, soccer, adult softball, and football, it can be difficult, but you just try to make your rounds. So if you see me at one, area of the park, don't expect to see me in about the next 50. Because you got to make your rounds. You got to make your presence. You got to make everyone else feel like, hey, at least somebody from the park is here. And I try to provide that for everybody that steps foot on the park grounds. Now, I may stay at soccer a little bit longer than I stay at softball, or vice versa. But I at least try to make my rounds, make everybody feel comfortable that they're there, and just let them know that, hey, if something happens, you can find me. You're not going to have to get on the phone and call my superior to see where I am. You're going to be able to find me. I'm going to be on the park ground somewhere. I may not be the first one there, but I'm usually definitely the last one to leave. So I try to at least show my face and be a spotlight for the park, and hopefully that's all in a positive manner.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's very visible from everybody that comes through the park system. I can vouch for that. So, well, Sean, like in his new role, so I know you as a board member there at the park. Talk about because I know part of your job is obviously the day-to-day, the coordination of all the many activities that are going on, but it's also a growth mindset. As far as how do things get funded? How do teams get sponsored? How do you guys kind of in tandem look at that from parks and like continue to grow the park?
Right. So, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's several years ago the park basically became self-sufficient and started keeping its own set of books, raising its own money. We still get funding from city and county respectively, but things like tournaments, baseball and softball tournaments have been able to bring in a lot of revenue that's helped augment some of those funding requirements and sponsorships. I think, Skylar. I mean, we love to sponsor youth activities. I think that's part of our mission here is to to give back to the community, and what other better way to get involved than to get involved in youth sports. So I love seeing, the kids wearing the Ace Fiber shirts on the soccer field and getting pictures of those, but that's kind of where the funding mechanisms are. Tourism's been able to kick in, and then we've got some very good corporate citizens as well that have, I know Coke has been just a tremendous contributor to the park and all the efforts we got going on out there. And then, through the efforts of some legislatures in our community, such as Nick Bain, he's been able to target grants specifically for the park in the last couple of years and be able to do things like fund, and I know Skylar's going to get into this, but fund the splash pad that we're crossing our fingers gets done by the end of the year.
My kids are crossing their fingers too.
I believe all of Alcorn County.
Is it the most frequent phone call you get now is a splash pad?
Well, it seems to be, yes. But just to kind of piggyback off of Sean, in which I applaud Ace Fiber and Ace Power just as a whole. I know there's been multiple times where you may have 3 or 4 different teams out there, and I mean that's a huge contribution to our activities. Just to go along with sponsorships, I mean, this fall we had 79 teams, which means we have 79 sponsors.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a lot of community involvement that we need. And I mean, that also shows awareness to our community that, they play a big part in what we do. My thing with sponsorship is you're sponsoring a walking billboard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of kids that leave the park and, may go to Chick-fil-A or go to Walmart or Kroger, wherever, and, right across their chest is your business, your company. So, I mean, you're not just sponsoring, to help the park in these sports, but you're also, you're putting your name and your business out there in the community as well to just let other people know that, hey, I do support the park. And I do support their efforts that they put out. So it's always a good testimony.
And unlike some traditional marketing avenues, your logo on that shirt stays in that family for years.
Exactly.
I know if they're like my family growing up,
right.
My mom still has all of my former jerseys.
Exactly.
Some people quilt them into quilts these days and do different
right.
things. So like you said, it's a long-standing habit in that household.
Exactly.
So, kind of a segue from what Sean was talking about a second ago too. We talked about the great work that Robin was able to accomplish during her tenure there. Talk about like growth and kind of exciting things you see coming out of the pipeline. You mentioned the splash pad. Right. So just from your director role, what do you see?
So I guess the soonest thing will be the splash pad. They're finishing the last little bit up. Like Sean said, hopefully it'll be done by December 31st. So I mean, I feel like that's going to be our first big thing coming to our town. In next spring. I mean, we'll be opening up, hopefully April, May, just in that summer, spring time frame. That's going to be the largest thing. After that, I mean, as of right now, land is going to be our biggest thing to expand. Now, we do have a little bit. Pickleball may be the next, as much as it's grown and how fast it's growing, may be the next big thing to add on to. Tennis is starting to grow a little bit. I know we're looking into resurfacing our tennis courts. Ball field, our sports is growing. But just outside of sports, I mean, land is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, we have a little bit of land on the other side of the park that we may could do some things with. But, like Sean said, a lot of that takes funding. So just to go off of what we already have, splash pad, pickleball, and continue to grow our youth sports are going to be our biggest things. But, I would like to add a spin to it myself. Hadn't really, thought that far down the line as of yet of just what to get into. But there will be some additional things added to the park just under my tenure as well, too.
I mentioned corporate sponsors, and I'd be remiss to not include Chick-fil-A as a sponsor of the new or the expanded, disc golf course, which I don't think a whole lot of people know about.
No.
It's kind of a hidden gem. I don't actually play myself, but I know a lot of people that do.
Right.
And my son's one. They'll go down there and get the discs and play, and they have a blast. And tell us about that expansion.
Yeah. So right now we have 9 disc golf holes. David Rogers came to me last year and was wanting to expand it to 9 more holes. So he's gotten a committee. He's kind of spearheading this whole adding 9 more holes to the disc golf course. and getting more sponsors to do so. But that also gives us benefits of hosting disc golf tournaments. And just getting it out there, because I mean there is a disc golf community that love to play. I mean it's big, but it, like Sean said, it's kind of hidden, but it is a lot of guys and ladies that do come out and play. So that's coming as well too. I know I think he had 6 sponsors last time I talked to him, trying to get the other 13. But as soon as that gets up and rolling, I mean that's going to be just another benefit to our community as well too. Robin, we just added a dog park, like I stated before, which sees traffic every day. I mean, you have 2 or 3 ladies that I can, probably, I don't know their names, but they come every morning with 2 or 3 dogs. They'll go to a course, and then the next thing you know, they're walking the park. So, I mean, things like that, we're looking to expand the dog park as well. I think we have 3 to 4 different obstacles now, but expanding there is going to be something coming soon. So, I mean, the park as a whole is growing, and I mean, people like David with Chick-fil-A. I mean, people like him is, they're going to help our park and help our community grow in different areas as well too.
Yeah, because not just disc golf, bringing people out in the community to play,
Right.
but people to the community to
Exactly.
play. So an investment in the park is really an investment
To the
in
community.
tourism and
Yeah.
the community. So,
Exactly.
I mean, I know you could drive by on a given Saturday, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday,
Right.
whatever the park days are,
Yeah.
and it's just lined with
Covered.
people and tents, and just to know that the impact it has on the businesses in our community
Right.
is invaluable.
Yeah.
So you said the. So one thing I always wonder too, Skylar, and if you don't know off the top of your head, it's okay too. But just the number of kids that come to that park,
Wow,
for various teams. I know you gave us the 79 number for
Right.
the teams. How many do you think a year that participate?
So I keep a spreadsheet just on a season. So I haven't finished my fall season yet, but this past spring we had over 1,200 participants in our sports league. Which, I mean, you look at the overall population of the city and the county. That may be a drop in the bucket compared to our overall, but from kids 3 to might as well say 16, that's a large number. And you can see it. I mean, you try to ride through the park on a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday night during one of our seasons, and I mean, you're pretty much having to weave just to keep from hitting other vehicles. So it's definitely a large number. Over the last 3 years that I've been there, we've seen an increase just about every year. I'm not going to take credit for that I brought the people with me, but I think it is a testament to the way we run our programs that hopefully that it will continue to grow.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
And it's one of those things too. Like I know for me personally, I know I told you I text you about
Right.
sponsorships and teams and stuff, but my parents, my in-laws,
Yeah.
they come from out of town to
Exactly.
see my kids play and visit here and stuff too. I think I would assume some of those kids are commuting from a Walnut or Ripley or
Right.
somewhere around.
We have a large number of kids that do come from neighboring counties. I mean, as far as Walnut, like you stated, Boonville, Iuka, Burnsville. I mean, even going into Tennessee, I mean, we have a few kids coming from Raymer or Mickey as well too. And I mean, that's just to name a few. I mean, we have them coming from all over the place. I mean, of course, our county kids are the large number, but just to be able to get kids coming from outside the county, where those other counties do have their own sports programs, is also, I guess you would say, a testament to the way we run our programs and the way that our sports and everything operate as well too. So, like I said, I don't want to take full credit for that, but I mean, it is a growing program that we do have at the park on a day-to-day basis. So.
Well, and it's one of those things too, Sean. You make a note of this, but I just joined a few weeks ago, the ACE team here,
Right.
and I know they took part in a pretty massive
yeah.
trick or treat event there at the park.
Yeah.
I mean, from a business standpoint, how is having the presence out there? I mean, how many people do you come in contact with out there for that type of function?
I've heard estimates, and Skylar can confirm or deny, but I've heard estimates of between 2,000 and 2,500
Wow.
trick-or-treaters out there for Trail of Treats. From a business standpoint, it's great to be able to, again, plug into the community and be involved, and give our organization some visibility out there and help give back. I mean, what kid doesn't like candy?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The dentist in town, they love you.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Maybe we need to get some sponsorship.
Sponsor, yeah.
We're looking at our dentist right now for some sponsorship.
We need toothbrushes.
So, aligned with that kind of function, that kind of event, what other type things that are not sport related are at the park? Are there lights that are set up during the holiday season? What does that look like?
Yeah, so just to piggyback off the Trail of Treats, so if you didn't come out last Tuesday night, it was a spectacle to see.
What's the number?
So Robin sent out emails for surveys, and some of them were coming back saying that they gave out as many as 3,100 to 3,400 pieces of candy.
All right,
or items.
I had 5,400 pieces of candy.
Yeah.
We gave it all out.
So so there we go.
Now I might have had some some folks.
Yeah. Gave a little extra.
but
I mean, but still,
pieces,
yeah.
I thought I'd have plenty, and I didn't have enough. But,
and I mean, just to come out there and see, we started, of course, at the walking trail. And if you're familiar with the park, the line was wrapped all the way around to behind the Jesse Bonham baseball field. And I mean, it was a lot of people. It started at 6. We had people there as early as 4:15 in line. Now, of course, they were the first ones in line, and probably glad that they were. But it was a spectacle. But outside of Trail of Treats, we are getting ready to put up our Christmas lights. We put those up on December 1st, and they'll stay up the whole month of December, along with Christmas music that we play throughout the park. So that they're probably getting that stuff out now to start getting ready to put out. That's another part. Our next biggest event is our Easter egg hunt.
Okay.
And so we do that typically. This past year, we decided to do it the week before Easter, just because there are a lot of families, churches that actually do stuff the week of Easter.
Right.
Also, if it rains, we always have a backup date. So that will follow in 2024. We will have it the Saturday before Easter, just to give people enough time to come out, enjoy us at the park, but then be able to enjoy, their family or church functions as well too. And I mean, that's another one, where we may draw, 2,000 plus people to the park. This past year we had it in the complex. And I mean, we had hundreds of kids on every field that we have out there. Now, that was due to rain. If it doesn't rain, we do it in the walking trail as well.
Okay.
And I mean, but that's probably between Easter egg hunt and Trail of Treats. That's our biggest events that we host, non-sports related. And there are some things we're the host for the Reconnect for Autism run as well. That's usually in April. That brings out a lot of people. So I mean, we host things non-sports related from year round, and I mean it brings out a lot of people to the community and to the park as well. Yeah,
I mean it's just my mind's spinning right now. Thinking about how many moving parts all these things require, and I know you and the team. I said I've had the privilege of working firsthand with you guys on some things and coaching some teams and stuff too. But you never really sit back and think about it until you talk to them like yourself.
And I mean, and we have a small staff, so I don't want to take all the credit. I'm sure Robin would attest that she can't take all the credit too. I mean, we have a small staff of 5 employees, full-time employees, and probably another handful of part-time employees. So I mean, whenever you think of these events that we host, it's a small team, that's orchestrating and trying to put all this together. But without the community, a lot of this wouldn't be able to be possible. So that's a big part of it as well too.
Well, I can say this is Ben's opinion, but you never could tell how big or small the staff was because you guys typically seem to make it go very seamless and smooth, and so you never skip a beat. So as a parent and as a community member, I appreciate that personally. So,
yes, sir.
Well, before we jump into Sean's passion for pickleball, I do want to just kind of end of the year is approaching.
Right.
What is the beginning of 2024 like? What sports and events can parents pretty much be gearing up for?
So we will start our registrations for fall soccer first. That one will begin January 1. Those seasons will start probably end of February, beginning of March. Following that, in February, we'll be opening up our registration for youth baseball and softball. Those games normally start in April. Then, of course, T-ball. Registration start in March, and those seasons usually start in May. I hate to go back, but this past year at T-ball we had 21 teams. So,
Wow.
which you were a part of that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can imagine 21 teams of 3 and 4 year olds playing T-ball. So that is also a sight to see if you hadn't made it by. But spring sports will be in full swing. We normally take December to get our inventory checked, get our flyers and all those things out, preparing for the spring. So I'm actually working with Zach, which is our sports coordinator, to kind of get those things kind of lined up, kind of getting our spring tournament schedule together. So come March, I mean, we're going to be back in full swing of sports and activities.
Yeah, well, as if anything is a testament to how good the staff is, it's watching 21 T-ball teams with those youngsters playing seamlessly, and I was able to experience that.
Right.
And, there were a few times that I probably could have pulled, some hair out of my head, but thanks to you guys for making it a good experience for sure. So,
yes, sir.
all right, well, let's waste no more time before we talk about. Do we need a commercial break for you to go change your outfit?
That would have been great. I would have done it.
So you take this and talk about pickleball and kind of what you think that looks like.
I think it was one of those things that 2-3 years ago we looked at it and said, hey, there's this pickleball thing that's like the fastest growing sport in America, and I hadn't even played it at the time. To be honest, I'd seen it, but the premise of it was good. And we had these we had the old tennis courts that. It was basically just a pad, an asphalt pad, and we were able to get some money and some funding for it, and resurface it, put nets up, and I think they've got at the park one of the finest pickleball facilities in North Mississippi for sure.
Yeah,
and that's what we hear from everybody that comes and plays it, and they've constantly done some upgrades to it. What amazes me about pickleball though is it spans all demographics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, I have seen every race, gender, age out there playing. And you take me and my family, I've got a daughter and a son. My wife played tennis in high school, so she's got that tennis background. But we love to go play. And me and my wife can play my daughter and my son, who get very competitive with us. But it's a good competitive match. And we'll beat them every time.
Make sure we know that on
I know that. We're unbeaten, my wife and I, as a couple, when we're playing inter-family.
Right.
But that's what I love about it. And if you're good at ping pong, you can be good
That's
at
what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, for those watching or listening that may not be as familiar with it, so compared to tennis, ping pong, talk them through what pickleball is. I mean, some people may not know.
Well, I mean, just to go off, before we had that meeting, I didn't know what pickleball was. I had to research it myself. But it's a combination, I feel personally, of ping pong and tennis. You're playing on a smaller court. The dimensions are 20 by 44. Net, I think, is 36. But you're playing with a traditional ping pong paddle, a little bit bigger. And what you can compare to, I guess, a wiffle ball from PE, but it has taken over. But if you haven't, like I stated before, if you don't know what it is, just swing by the park. I mean, we keep paddles and balls in the office. If you want to try it out, you can come by. If you're not ready to go out and buy it full swing, I mean, you're more than welcome to come by and give it a swing, give it a try. But it has really taken the park by storm once we got them up and got them set up. We have 6 courts. Here recently, we got a donation from Steve McElwain, and we actually have a divider fence that goes along between the two ends of courts, which was a major improvement to our park, to the courts as a whole. But it has really taken over. I mean, like Sean said, in the mornings we have a group of ladies, retired ladies come and play. Midday you may get those guys that, just got off work at 4, they'll come play. At night is almost high school city.
Stand room only.
You got
to kind of call next match.
Exactly. During whenever Corinth was on fall break, I kid you not, we had all 6 courts going, and they were all playing double. So I mean, that's 4 people per court. And there was just about a group waiting on every court to play. And like I said, I love to see that. It makes us feel like the decision that we made to get them put in was well worth it. Because I mean, we didn't know. I mean, we had a handful of people that knew what pickleball was. We knew that it was growing, but you never know how the community's going to receive it. But I do believe that it's one of the best decisions that we've made since I've been a part. Addition to the park, just as far as the people that play and the people that come out.
I think it's going to be a high school sport.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Before too long.
I believe there's a couple.
You just got to. We got to build. In the state, we got to build more courts for it to happen. But it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's just. It's just.
So, are we looking at potential coaches here of pickleball high school athletics here?
Oh, I could be a para coach.
Oh yeah.
I can see it now.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's, last time I looked at it, or Zach looked in, I think he said there's 2 states already that have it as a high school sport.
Wow. Okay.
But I do believe, and I can't recall which 2, but I do believe before long it will be a high school sport in the state of Mississippi.
And it's something that's taken over
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I mean, I just showed Sean the other day an image of somebody I saw on LinkedIn that was a corporate office that completely transformed their headquarters and built pickleball courts. Their headquarters for people to come and play. Rooftops. Central Park in New York is building pickleball courts. So I mean,
one of the things that I've seen is that they're taking old malls, abandoned malls, and they're making them into pickleball courts, and then charging a membership fee for it. So
that's
I think I saw, just to go like an old movie theater in Memphis. They're clearing it out and putting some pickleball courts in there as well too. So I mean, it's definitely growing, and like Sean, it's not just here. Turn on the TV. I've never seen so many pickleball commercials. So I mean, it's definitely growing. I think it's becoming more of a national. ESPN is hosting pickleball tournaments. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's not as national. It's not as big as basketball, football, but it is something that is definitely growing. Just nationwide. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I said it's something to continue to look forward to and to watch it build. And of course we hear our pickleball stories at the office. If I
haven't been able to play.
If Sean's kids are listening to this or watching this, then I'll justify, or I'll make sure that his testimony here is actually accurate.
Right.
So
right.
That. But it is. So we talk about a lot of sports. Really, just one that still keeps coming back to me too is. Softball. You're talking about, I know there's industry league, there's church league, there's girls, different age groups of girls softball that's being played here. Like, do you see what kind of tournaments and stuff does that draw? So
just in our rec league, we have an open league, or we offer an open league, church league, women's league, co-ed, and even a 50-plus seniors league. Okay. Just this fall, we hadn't had a women's league in the past, several years, but we were able to get enough ladies to come together to have a women's league this fall, which is huge. Mm-hmm. Back in the 90s, my dad was an umpire at the park, and it was women team, industrial teams all over the place with 2 fields, so you can only imagine. But now, we have 10 teams in our open league, which is, if you want to get a group of guys and create a team, that's pretty much what it is. We have typically around 7 or 8 churches that play with us in the spring. Then our senior league, we have 3 guys, and that's something to see. Just seeing those guys, like I said, age starts at 50. We kind of have, I think, a few 47, 48-year-olds just to kind of help with numbers. But there's some guys out there as old as 75, pushing on 80 years old, and that can still demolish the ball and get to first base. So it's a large age gap, or age group of adults that we play as well too. But as far as tournaments, we actually have a tournament this weekend. It's a benefit tournament, and we normally have about 2 to 3 adult tournaments a year. It's not as big as youth baseball or fast pitch softball, but we do have a few of those adult tournaments, throughout the year to kind of bring in. Theirs are a little bit different, just as far. You're not going to ride through and see tents, that look like the Grove out there. But but it is something for adults to come out and play some competitive softball as well too.
That's exciting to hear for sure. So we've talked about pickleball, disc golf, continuing the tradition of all the other sports at the park. So in your new director role, what are you looking forward to leaving your mark on the most? Like 10 years from now,
Yeah.
if you're still there as director, if you've gone, hopefully you don't go anywhere,
Right.
But what do you want to look back and say? Skylar left his mark on what at the park?
Oh man.
It's too early for these deep
Yeah,
questions,
it is. But I would just say just the continual growth of our soccer program. It's like I said, soccer has grown. Corinth or Alcorn County has not. They hadn't always been a soccer community, and there's still a lot of people that don't know a lot about soccer other than, hey, kick the ball in the goal, when it goes out, throw it back in. That's kind of where we are at soccer. But I think growing on that, we have a soccer complex that I feel like before long is going to be too small as well too, and we might have to start using other areas of the park for soccer as well. So I would say soccer as of right now. We just built a new concession restroom building because of that. We normally would pull up a concession trailer, but we have so many people that come out and play soccer on a night-to-night basis that we had to get a permanent building, just to kind of help with those needs of kids using the restroom or just wanting to buy simple foods as a whole. So if I had to make a decision right now, it would be soccer.
Good. Yeah. My kids have participated in that, and it's a tremendous outpouring people that come out there and stuff too. So, and obviously Sean, from being a supporter and the CEO of ACE, who plays the role of part, but also a board member and a parent. What excites you the most about Skylar and the direction the park's going into in the years ahead?
I think Skylar's right. Continuing on the legacy that Robin's leaving, from an organizational structure standpoint, I think he's dead on with soccer.
Yeah,
I think I'm a big soccer guy too. I'm not just pickleball, but I'm a big soccer guy too. And I would love to see some of the other high schools in our county pick up soccer. I think that could help drive the soccer program here, but they've made great strides in the last several years, partnering with MSA, Mississippi Soccer Association, and doing some good things there. And it's a good problem to have when you're running out of space.
Right.
It's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. And I think Skylar's going to do a great job addressing those needs and figuring out creative ways to provide more space for programs like soccer, while also maintaining the green space and the walking space that people want in the park. Right. And that's the juggling act right there, right?
Yeah.
So
we want to keep our green space. We want to keep a park a park. We're not a sports facility, but we are a park. So we don't want to build on every little space that we have. We need our trees. We need our shade. We have a large group of walkers that that look forward to coming and walking at the park.
Right.
So like Sean said, we can't go put a ball field on every piece of grass that we have, but we are going to run into those problems eventually of needing some extra space. So.
Yeah, and the playgrounds, the walking trail.
Right.
Too many things to really count and list the benefits it provides our community.
Well, Robin has said from day one about the splash pad, the minute we open it up, it's going to be too small.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a big attraction.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that we said when we made the decision to do the splash pad was, we're going to build one and we're going to do it right, and it's going to be the best around.
Exactly.
And I think it's what we're going to end up.
Oh yeah, I believe so as well too.
Well, certainly a lot of excitement in all things that are going on with Skylar and his new role, the park in general, just the lives of our community that's going to continue to impact. I think we all three can agree on that very much so, that it's going to continue to be the gem in our community. People move to communities like this for assets like the park, and it's been beneficial to all three of us in our lives. So appreciate you so much for taking the time to be here with us and to share more about the parks and ongoings and kind of what your new role is going to entail and stuff. So people that are watching or viewing, park continues to need sponsorships, support, coaches, people just to come out, support the ones that are participating. So I think we all agree that that's what's going to continue to drive it forward. So ACE is excited and just privileged to be a partner with you guys, and we look forward to seeing the good work you continue to do.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. New Albany fiber project and what's the status on that project? So.
Yeah, again, still making a lot of good strides. A couple weeks ago, we landed our first telecommunications shelter, which is the central office that everything originates from, where we get those connections from those NFL cities and interconnect there, and then disperse those connections out. Disperse the internet out to New Albany. So gearing up for the first part of construction, which should start in the first part of January.
Okay.
Of course, we're still on schedule to begin customer hookups, subscriber hookups, 1st of April. So a lot of work to be done to meet those deadlines, but we got a good team that's working on that. What we're really doing right now, though, is we're getting all of our addressing correct for possible subscribers in New Albany, and using our product that's on our website that will enable subscribers to go in and pre-register for services, which is going to be a big thing, because based on that pre-registration, once that subscriber zone gets ready for construction and we're able to hook them up, they're going to be notified via email or text that they're ready to go and be activated, and at which time we'll send them a link that will finalize their order and let them choose their installation date and time as well. Also build their packages and configure all of that. So, but it's going to be a great way for them to kind of follow along with the construction process and see which phase of construction they're in, because it is a process. Just because we run fiber past your house doesn't necessarily mean that we're ready to hook you up and get you internet. So really we're close.
So it's really the one-stop shop for people to follow the progress of New Albany Union County progress there. So when they go to the site, is it just collecting information? What are they doing?
It's going to be as easy as clicking the sign up button, just like they normally would, and based on their address, we're going to know that they're not ready for service, and so we'll allow that customer to pre-register, and by that pre-registration, we know that they're interested in our services and they want our services when ready, and so they'll be able to keep up with that process. The map will be color coded.
Okay, I was just about to ask you if there's a visual that they could see.
Absolutely. Red will be not ready for services. Yellow means under construction, and green means we're ready to install.
Ready to go. Okay.
So
good. Well, I know there's a lot of excitement, and like I said, I know there'll be a lot of ongoing communication about that. So.
And again, the best way to follow us is by following our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. And LinkedIn if you've got that, but we release all that information, and we try to be as transparent as possible in the process, because we know it's important to our customers. We've got a fantastic product heading their way, and so there will be a flood of information that will take place before the end of this year and first part of next year.
Yeah. Well, I know during my although I've only had a very short tenure at ACE so far, the excitement amongst the team and the leadership, it's everybody's extremely excited.
It's palpable. It is.
So looking forward to that and watching the progress, and hope everybody will follow along with us as we continue to update them.
Absolutely.